Hello, and I welcome you all again in this course. So today we are going to discuss about why we need to quantify the rebar in structure. So it is very important uh, for the for the construction team to know why exactly we need to quantify the rebar in structure. So I divided this into three basic and most important uh, departments which needs to know the quantity of the steel bars. Okay, the number first is site requirements. So what we mean basically the site requirement, as you can see that site requirement is where construction work is ongoing. So whatever we are doing to construct we are going to construct a new design, new building, or new structure. So this is the first requirement. The second requirement is cost requirement. Cost is most important factor because if you are working on a project, you are expecting money from the client. So to get the money in a right way, in an appropriate way, in a logical way, you need to present all the necessary things and get all the necessary informations so that you can prove your cost requirements. Okay, so in the case of steel, what we need to know the steel mass, how much we are going to use, what dia we are going to use. This we will discuss in the later classes. Then the third is procurement requirement. So we will discuss this one by one in next slide. Okay, the first point is site requirement. As you know that we discussed in the last class, there's the standard size is 9 meter to 12 meter, but we need pieces, different pieces according to the shape of the structure or desired length. Then if we take this as an example, so we definitely will say that if the footing size is 2 meter by 1 by 5 meters, so we need to cut these bars into required length. Okay, then the detail demonstrated in the drawing. So initially we need the plan, we need the section, we need details, and the site team follow the drawing. Okay, site team, what is the responsibility of site team? Site team gets this bar bending drawing, so he will responsible to place according to the requirement of that particular structure. Then it is needed to provide the cut length and weight. Okay, so what is important for site team is two things. First is the cut length, second is the weight. So this is important because once they know that this is the cut length of every bar, so it will be easy for them to cut the pieces, then mold, bend, crank according to the requirement. I mentioned here the BOQ description, that steel reinforcement for RCC work including straightening. Straightening means when it come on the store in the raw shape, then you need to straight this one, then you need to cut according to this sizes, then you need to bend for different purposes like L shape bend, like you need to make a stirrup, or you need to make a U, whatever the bending is you need to bend. Placing in position mean like in the case of beam, so we need to place one steel bar here, one steel bar here, one here, one here. Okay, then you need to place a stirrup over here. So this is called basically the placing in position and binding all complete. So then we need to bind it by binding wire, and this our structure is completed. So next we will move to cost requirement. So what are basically the cost requirement? So steel rebar is a costly item. As you know that steel is one of the most expensive item in the building construction. The use of this steel bar is too much and the cost is also too much, so it is consider it as an important point because it differentiate it decided that how much building is going to cost. Initial estimate describe the possible cost and the steel. So initially, before the construction is started, so there is an estimate to get the detail of how much cost it will be take in order to uh, construct this building. Then for placing of steel, quantity is required. For pricing of steel, quantity is required. So how we know the price? Like for example, if we don't have the mass of the steel, so it is not possible to get the price. Okay, first we need to quantify the steel. Once we get that this is 2 ton of steel, then we can multiply it this into the prices, so we will get the price of the steel. To know the required steel for any structure in any moment of the project duration. Okay, so the requirement of the steel, as you know, on the side there is a limited place, so we need to get the order of the steel after different intervals. So we the as a QS there should be always a bar bending schedule, bar bending table, and the quantity, so that whenever it required on any department like site or procurement department, it is available to give. Compare design drawing to shop drawing design. So it is also an important point, because our contract drawing is something a different drawing, and shop drawing is according to the construction to proceed. Okay, so if there is any discrepancy between these two drawings, so the QS will identify this, that there is a discrepancy, so there is a extra cost. If it is more in the design, or it is less, the cost will be reduced. For the cost control, this is one of the most important factor, where QS will say that we need 20 kg for the purpose of this steel structure. Okay, but if actual it is using 25 kg, so the QS and will alarm to other departments that basically this will cost us higher. Okay, then next step is the BOQ description. What QS need to know, what are the point that is important to highlight. That is, I will read for you: providing and fixing steel reinforcement. Rate includes. So this is most important for the QS to know. Okay, this is the point where QS need to focus more, because all the rates and relating to estimating, QS is the one who is responsible. Rate includes labor charges. Labor charges means supervisor, there is a steel fixer, there is a person who is working directly or indirectly, it is involved with it. Then cutting, bending, cranking, fabricating, and tying in position steel bar, this we have discussed already. Confirming to IS 434 and IS 1786 for RCC, including cost of soft, drawn, and healed. So these are the standard basically for the steel bars. Binding wire are not less than 20 gauge. So this binding wire is to join the steel bars, like stirrup to the lateral bars. PVC nylon cover blocks of required thickness. All leads lifting and handling charges. Okay, so all these things are considered as item. This need to be priced, but our focus will be on the steel. Cost of tools, tackle scaffolding, wastage, rolling margins, chairs hooked, and etc. What is the goal? We have the specification, we have drawings, so we will finish according to the requirement of the project. What process is involved in, we need to do that one. So next step is for the purpose of procurement. So procurement is basically a department where they are ordering actually the material according to the requirement. They are the one who is responsible to maintain the supply and chain, how much we need for this month, how much we need for this week. So based on that, they are putting the order. In first point, order to material on due time. Due time is very important, that in this month what activities will be ongoing. Based on that, they will uh, Order the material. Without quantity, it is not possible to determine how much steel reinforce is required. Without quantifying, it is not possible to determine how much steel reinforcement is required. So this is obvious. We discussed this uh, already. Then the following points are important for procurement department. Grade of steel, they need grade of steel, they need diameter of steel, they need mass in kg, okay, or pound if it is in the FPS system. Then the balance between steel and other material on site. Okay, so once they know all these details, so they will be able to balance the steel bar on site and how much we need to basically call for the material. So these are the basically all the functions why we need to quantify the steel. I hope you get all the point. You need to understand it is site requirement, it is cost requirement, and there is a procurement requirement. So this is all for the class. Next class we will meet again. Thank you so much.